So the question is, just to be precise, he does call for some dramatic changes for people 54 and under, but anyone who is 55 or older or any senior living in Florida right now, they have absolutely nothing to worry about if his plan were to be approved, because it would not affect them at all. You accept that, right?
No. Paul Ryan's views 2 years ago on Medicare and how we can shore it up and preserve it for future generations were extreme and wrong then, and they are extreme and wrong now, and even made even worse by the fact that now they're in charge of the House of Representatives. And actually, if Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan became president and vice president of the United States, they'd be able to end the Medicare guarantee, shred the health care safety net that Medicare has provided for more than 50 years, and turn Medicare into a voucher program, leaving seniors really out in the cold, because as health care costs grow larger than the voucher provides, seniors wouldn't have enough money to cover their health care costs. And we know that the Romney-Ryan plan would increase Medicare premiums by $6,300 each year for seniors. Well, so
but we're talking
we can take
about
another approach.
But he
like
says there would be no.
Has.
He says he's not calling for any changes for anyone who's 55 or older, including anyone who's on Medicare right now. Those changes. Let's say I accept. Let's say we accept all those. The description you had of all of those changes, that affects people 10 years from now. Let's say 65 or 67 when they're eligible for Medicare, but it doesn't impact anyone who's receiving Medicare right now or those who have 10 years to go, 55 and older.
It certainly does, and I'll tell you how.
First explain of all, that. Explain how if you're 56, 57, or 83 years old, how does his recommendations for those under 55 impact them?
I'm happy to. First of all, Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan presume that the people who are younger than 65 years old, who have spent decades in their working life,
he says 55.
Okay, so 55 and younger. We'll start with that age. Those people have spent decades paying into Medicare. And because of the arbitrary cutoff of 55 years old that Romney and Ryan have established, that means that we would no longer, for those people, have Medicare be a guarantee. Instead, we would shred that safety net. It would no longer be a guarantee. It would be a voucher. They'd pay more than $66,000 more in premiums to pay for their Medicare coverage. And because health care costs often rise higher than that voucher would at a faster rate, the voucher wouldn't provide for all the health care costs and cover them all.
That would affect only for people who are under 55 right now. Current recipients of Medicare.
Okay. Why do we presume?
I mean, he says that his proposal, and he spelled it out in the House Budget Committee. He's the chairman of that committee. He says there would be absolutely no change for any. So you're familiar with his recommendations that no one over 55 would be impacted by his recommended changes. Okay,
here's how, though. As I said, because first of all, we do care that we have a safety net in place in health care for people who are 65 now, and for people as they turn 65. We made a decision in the 1960s.
But they would continue to have that safety net.
No, they wouldn't, because
he says that anybody over 55 is still going to receive exactly the same Medicare that they receive right now. Okay,
but Wolf, their plan ends Medicare as we know it.
For people under 55 years old.
Yes, and that's not okay. It isn't okay.
That's a legitimate debate. I just wanted to make sure that you and he were on the same page, that the changes he's recommending will affect younger people, not necessarily those who are currently on Medicare or those about to get Medicare.